So today we are going to discuss some questions on Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, that is DSPE. You can also call it that this act deals with the constitution and administration of the CBI, that is Central Bureau of Investigation. So before going further, I would like to give a brief overview about this act. So this act has been constituted for creation of the special police force, that is Delhi Special Police Establishment, and for the investigation of the certain offences, and these offences are prescribed under section 3 of the act, and it will be notified by the central government as to what kind of offences will be dealt with by this Delhi Special Police Establishment. And it basically deals with the investigation of offences in the Union Territory. And however, there is a provision, that is section 5, by virtue of which it can be the central government can extend these powers of investigation to the DSPE for other states also. However, the consent of the concerned state government is required. So these are the basic overview, and so taking in this into consideration, let's move forward dealing with the question. So the question number 1 is, Delhi Special Police Establishment Act is enacted as. So the correct answer would be Act number 25 of 1946. So this is a pre-constitutional law. Moving further, section 2 of the Delhi Establishment Act begins with a non-obstante clause overriding which statute. So if you will read the tenor of the section 2, it clearly states that notwithstanding anything contained in the Police Act. So whatever has been written in the Police Act, notwithstanding that, this Delhi Special Police Establishment has been constituted by the central government for investigation of offences as notified under section 3. So moving further, under section 2 subsection 1, the Delhi Special Police Establishment, the central government may constitute a special police force for investigation aid. So as I have told you earlier, so the Delhi Special Police Establishment will have the powers for the investigation as per section 2 subsection 1 only in the case of Union Territory, and it can be extended to the state government also, but for that the central government has to specifically extend by virtue of section 5, and for that consent of the concerned state government is required under section 6. So moving further, under section 2 subsection 3, the Delhi Special Police Establishment, a member of the establishment of or above the rank of sub-inspector may exercise. So now if you will read the section 2 subsection 3, it says that the said member of the force shall exercise the powers of an officer in charge of the police station where he is investigating the offense. So correct answer would be option C. Moving further, section 1A of the Delhi Special Police Establishment, which provides that words and expression not defined therein shall have the meanings assigned under. So if you will read the act, that is Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, there is no definition clause provided in this act. So by virtue of section 1A, which has been added by Vigilance Commission Act, it says that the words and expression not defined in the in the Delhi Special Police Establishment, but is defined under the Central Vigilance Commission Act. So you can take the help from the Central Vigilance Commission Act. So correct option would be option C. Moving further, under section 3 of the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, offences to be investigated by the establishment are specified by. So what kind of offences will be tried by the CBI? So this will be CBI, the Delhi Special Police Establishment, will be specified by the central government by a way of notification in the official gazette. So correct option would be B. Moving further, question number 7. Question number 7 is under section 4A1 of the Act, superintendents of investigation relating to offences under Prevention of Corruption Act vested in. So under section 4 there are 3 things. First, the superintendents of Delhi Special Police Establishment with respect to the investigation of offences relating to prevention of corruption. For this, the superintendents had be vested in the commission, that is Central Vigilance Commission, CVC. For the superintendents of DSPE with respect to the investigation of offences in all other matters, it will be vested in the central government. And the administration of the said establishment, that is Delhi Special Police Establishment, will be vested in the director, who will be appointed by the central government. So these are the 3 things, that is the superintendents of DSP with respect to the investigation of offences alleged to have been committed under PCA shall vest in the commission, that is CVC. Superintendents of in case of the DSPE in case of all other matters shall be vested in the central government. And administration of the DSPEA will be vested in the director of the CBI, which will be appointed by the central government. So the correct answer to this, that is the superintendents of investigation relating to offences under Prevention of Corruption Act shall be vested in the CVC, that is Central Vigilance Commission. So moving forward, question number 8. Administration of the Delhi Special Police Establishment and under section 4(3) of the Act vested in the earlier I told you. So the administration will be vested in the director of the Delhi Special Police Establishment. Now next question, how will this director will be appointed? So director will be appointed on the recommendation of the committee. And who shall constitute this committee? So these are the 4 options. The correct option is Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition in the House of People, and Chief Justice of India. So the correct option is option B, Chief Justice of India or nominee appointed by CJI. So this is the correct option. Moving forward, question number 10. Which of the following is not a statutory criteria under section 4A(3) for selection of the director DSP? So if we will read the section 4A, it says that the committee shall recommend a panel of officers on the basis of seniority is there, integrity is there, experience in the investigation of anti-corruption cases is there. So which of the following is not a criteria? So the correct option will be political neutrality is not a correct statutory criteria as provided under section 4A subsection 3. So moving further, and mind you, this section 4A, earlier it was different. So this has been amended by DSPE, Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Act of 2021. No, this has not been added by the 2021, rather it has been amended by Lokpal and Lokayukta Act of 2013. So earlier there was a different provision, like the committee was different. So this committee, which has been constituted under 4A, this has been reconstituted, and this has been amended by virtue of Lokpal and Lokayukta Act of 2013. So moving further, under section 4B of the Delhi Special Police Establishment, the director is statutorily granted. So as per the statute, the term of the CBI director is a minimum term of 2 years. So there is a controversy in this also, like earlier what was happening, that there is a person known as the CBC and Delhi Special Police Establishment will go some hand in hand, because ED is appointed under the CBC Act and the CBI director is appointed under the DSPE Act. So when Mr. Misra was appointed, like the act was earlier said that a person, director of the ED, will be appointed for a period of 2 years. So Mr. Misra term was granted for a period of 2 years. So thereafter the government granted him extension of another 1 year. But this was challenged before the Supreme Court in the case of common cause case, and Supreme Court held that since the statute only provides for a minimum of 2 years, the government cannot have granted and extended the tenure of the Mr. Misra as ED director for a period beyond 2 years, and directed that since the statute do not contain the criteria for the extension, the government is not justified in the extension. So to nullify the effect of common cause, the government brought the Delhi Special Police Establishment Amendment Act 2021 and as well as Central Vigilance Commission Amendment Act 2021, by which it was added that the extension can be granted up to 1 year at a time and thereafter, but maximum can be of 5 years. So this was again challenged in the case of Jaya Thakur case versus Union of India, and this judgment has came in the year 2023 by a 3-judge bench of the Supreme Court, and judgment was authored by the Justice B.R. Gavai, and in which it was held that this amendment by which the extension was done and the proviso was added by which 1 year extension at a time, maximum of 5 years was added, this is constitutionally valid. However, the Supreme Court has held that the ED director extension, which the Supreme Court has explicitly said that the Mr. Misra extension cannot be granted beyond 1 year, that was held to be invalid. So this is the background of this section 4B proviso regarding extension of the director. So minimum tenure of 2 years. Now moving forward, the proviso to section 4B inserted by Delhi Special Police Establishment Act provides that the director shall mandatorily continue for 5 years. So if you will look all these 4 options, the correct option is option B. It can be granted, may be extended by beyond 2 years, but subject to an overall cap of 2 years. And this is important because amendment has done in the year 2021. Earlier there was an ordinance, but this ordinance was took the shape of the amendment in the year 2021. Moving further, extension of the tenure of the director DSP under the proviso requires the recommendation of. So even the extension of the tenure, it requires the recommendation of the committee constituted under 4A, and this committee is, as you will know, PM as the chairperson, leader of opposition and Chief Justice of India or other judge nominated by him. So these are the members of the committee. So correct option is C. Moving forward, section 4BA, it talks about what? So section 4BA talks about the appointment. These are the 4 options. So it talks about the creation of director of prosecution. So moving further, Director of Prosecution under 4A functions under the supervision and control of. So under 4BA subsection 2, it says that the Director of the Prosecution shall function under the supervision and control of the Director of the Delhi Special Police Establishment. So this is the correct answer. Moving further, Section 4C of the Delhi Establishment Act deals with the appointment and tenure of. So 4C is deals with the these questions are straight from the BEAR Act. So it deals with the officers of the rank of the Superintendent of Police and above, but except Director, because Director has already dealt under Section 4A. Moving further, before submitting its recommendation under Section 4C, the committee is statutorily required to consult. So the committee is statutorily required to consult the Director of the DSPE, and this committee for the appointment of officers of the rank of SP and above, excluding Director. This committee will consist of CVC, that is Central Vigilance Commissioner, Vigilance Commissioners, and the Secretary of the Home Affairs and Secretary of Department of Personnel. So these are the members of the said committee for the appointment of the officers of the rank of Superintendent of Police and above. Moving further, who is empowered under Section 5 of the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act to extend the powers and jurisdiction of the establishment to any area, including railway areas, and to a state not being a union territory. So as I have told you earlier in the beginning, that this provision of DSPE can be extended to other states also, but it has to be done by the central government. Central government may by order extend to any area in a state not being union territory the powers and jurisdiction of the members of the Delhi Special Police Establishment, so the central government. Moving further, under which provision of the Delhi Establishment Act the consent of the state government required for exercising powers and jurisdiction of the establishment within a state? So Section 6, because central government cannot unilaterally apply the provision of DSPE, it requires the consent of the concerned state government. Moving further, Section 6A of the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, prior to being declared unconstitutional, required the prior approval of the central government. So now this has been declared unconstitutional, you can say, in which case this has been declared unconstitutional. Moving further, so required the approval prior to its being declared unconstitutional, it required the prior approval of the central government for investigation against. So as per the mandate of the Section 6A now being declared unconstitutional, so it required the approval of the central government if the Delhi Special Police Establishment, that is CBI, wanted to conduct or do investigation against the officers of the level of Joint Secretary and above. So on this ground only, that it is violative of Article 14, that why are you requiring that only for the levels of Joint Secretary and above you will be requiring the consent of the central government. So on this ground, that is violation of Article 14, and this has been declared unconstitutional. So next question, Section 6A of the Delhi Special Police Establishment was declared unconstitutional in the case of, so the case name was Subramaniam Swamy versus Director CBI. So this is the case, and in a recent case of CBI versus Dr. R.R. Kishore, that is 2023 Supreme Court held that the declaration made in this case of Subramaniam Swamy versus CBI it will have retrospective effect. That is, Section 6A will not be enforced from the date of its insertion, and section 6A was added in the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act from the date 11/9/2003. So this is the what has been held in the case of CBI versus Dr. R.R. Kishore. So this is an important point, you should remember this. Moving further, the constitutional validity of proviso to section 4B permitting extension of the tenure of the directed DSP up to a maximum of 5 years was upheld by the Supreme Court. So this has been upheld in the case of we have discussed this earlier in the case of Dr. Jaya Thakur versus Union of India. This is a 3-judge bench. B.R. Gavai delivered this judgment. This judgment is more than 100 pages. So moving further, under section 4C of the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, for the appointment of the officers of the rank of SP and above, so these officers will be appointed on the recommendation of a committee. So this committee will consist of CVC, VCs, Secretary of the Home and Secretary of the Department of Personnel. So the correct option is option B. Moving further, under section 4BA of the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, the Director of Prosecution shall be an officer not below the rank of. So if you will read section 4BA, it reads that it shall not be below the rank of Joint Secretary to the Government of India. So this is the correct answer. Moving further, under section 4A3 of the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act, the Director of the Police Establishment, that is Director of the CBI, shall be chosen from amongst the officers of the, these are the 4 options. So he will be chosen from amongst the officers of the IPS cadre constituted under All India Services Act. So this is the correct option. Option is option B, that is IPS cadre. He will be a Director CBI will be from the IPS cadre of the All India Services Act. So that would be all.